Barry Fenton, President and CEO of Lanterra Developments, is with me on the desk, and you're sort of uniquely positioned to talk about this because you build in all economic cycles. You're dependent on it, but you have to think long term. You've got these relationships with the banks, and one thing you kind of came back to when we started talking is just how you're grateful that it seems like you can still get business done here in Canada, even though there's been a bit of chaos in the last 5 days.
Yeah, again, chaos is usually a good sign because you need chaos. But again, we are long-term thinkers, and so was the banking system. And when you look at what happened in 2008, Amber, it was unbelievable how Canada withstood the storm better than anybody. So, I don't look at daily gyrations because it ain't going to help me. I look at the global outlook of where I think real estate is going to be in the next 5 years. And by the way, we have a lot of skin in the game. So it's not like we want our investors and purchasers to do well, but we also risk millions of dollars in completing projects. So we have to be forward-thinking and really be positive and understand the marketplace ourselves.
And a lot of that is in Canada. It's in the greater Toronto area. Have you ever thought about expanding beyond? Why not go to the U.S.?
So we do have some projects that we are presently involved in. For example, a very large project in New Jersey. By Journal Square, which is across from the World Trade Center. And we have been actively rezoning the site over the last 3 to 4 years. And we will be building out approximately 600,000 to 700,000 square feet. But we have decided at this point, because of the environment in the States and because of the way they finance projects in the States, that we're right presently now. It's sitting ready to go, but we're not going to pull the trigger yet. And it's different than if we were in Canada.
And was that decision made over the past 5 days, or it was kind of?
No, this has been something that's been percolating for the last, I'm going to say the last 6 to 9 months.
Because of rising rates?
Because of rising rates, and the way the banking system works in the States is completely a little more less with strings than more with strings as they do in Canada. So it's more difficult. It's probably easier to get financing in the States initially.
Yeah.
But by the time you look at the rates and what they charge, and there's a lot of different banks that offer financing in the States, it's a little more risky. So we're not risk takers in that sense. So we want to make sure that we have the proper financing rates in place, the proper financing. And the banks in the States right now, as you can see from a few of the failures, it's a tough time to be doing big projects in the States, I believe.
So that's interesting. Would this have been your first kind of attempt at global expansion or
No, we've done other.
You've done others.
So
it's just the environment is not right.
It's just that right now it's not the right time to be launching projects unless you have really
in the U.S.
No, sorry, not in Canada. In the U.S. because you need to have really proper financing in place to make sure that everything is in check.
And are you launching new projects in Canada?
Yeah, we are. We're very active. In fact, about an hour ago, we closed a transaction downtown in the hundreds of millions of dollars with 2 very, very large A banks. So business is as usual, and we're very bullish about the market.
Now, was it a residential?
It was a residential
Talk to me about the commercial. I know it's a smaller part, but if people say if there's going to be concerns cropping up, that's where it's going to crop up first in terms of the impact of rising rates or recessionary impact. Are you feeling that in your portfolio?
Listen, recession is always a scary word, but it's really 2 negative quarters of GDP. And I'm not an economic guy, but that's what I think it means. And I think we've already probably passed that. I think we've already been through the recession if we were ever to have one. But I think that industrial real estate's been very, very good. I mean, the one component that I keep mentioning is the office component, and it's a little bit in a rough patch. The buildings are sitting downtown.
Would you build an office development today?
Well, it's interesting. We just, in most of our condominium projects, we end up having to build office components in it. Oh. And we just sold something like 30,000, 40,000 square feet of office condos in the downtown core, and we did very, very well. So it's not like we're buying a building and we're selling something that's 200,000 square feet, and you're selling an asset like that. So we basically chunk it up, and we divide it up, and then that's how we go out and sell. We have other holdings downtown. There's no question that we have great tenants like Bank of Montreal that are our tenants for another 4 or 5 years, and downtown financial core buildings. But, once they leave, it will be an interesting concept of what we do with that building if the market is where it is.
So have you given any thought on how you're how you repurpose some of that?
We're probably going to go look to see if we can get some residential rezoning on that site or two. Right. So that's what we have to do. But you don't know.
And how's that going on the regulatory front? That is the persistent, kind of stubborn area of the market, is getting access to supply, and builders like yourselves lament about the regulatory process to do so is slow and cumbersome.
Well, we have a full team at Lanterra, but there's no question that it's always been a challenge.
Is it getting
I'm
better?
not going to say a challenge. It's just there's a lot of bureaucratic hoops you have to go through. But at the end of the day, the result is positive. But I think that overall, you can see now that Premier Ford and the new mayor that will be in check in the next few months, their objective is to deal with how to deal with supply, because the supply is an issue. And you can see now that in certain quadrants in the city that they're not as concerned about height, and they're not as concerned about setbacks, which will give us the ability to do more zoning on the site and provide more condominiums and retail and whatever else that's required in certain locations.
A lot of young people are starting their families in condos, right? And maybe their parents, they started their families in the suburbs, they had a home, a plot of land. Do you think that's a kind of permanent generational shift? I mean, how elusive is the goal of home ownership for young families?
That's a great question.
I know you're a condo builder.
No, so let me tell you from my own experiences. I grew up at Bathurst and Harvard in a house that literally housed like 9 of us, and it wasn't more than 1,500 square feet. So we haven't changed the way we live, except for the fact that now in our condo business we're now going a lot higher vertically. So I just think that I think that our condominium business has been the business to really be attracted to, because people can afford housing in that component.